How y'all doing, man? I was just gonna come in one more time, just to speak on a few things, man. This is mainly for, based around small businesses. Uh, of course, I can do, W-2s too. That's a lot easier. And also, there's also a few deductions that actually W-2 employees can also deduct. It's not as many, maybe two, three, four, but even if it was extra $100, $200. Um, I mean, how much was them Jordans you paid for your son, or that PS5 you just got for Christmas? You know what I'm saying? I mean, so every dollar counts. Um, but I wanted to say, man, for especially for trucking companies and for home-based businesses, did you know that there are uh, almost 60 possible deductions for both parties? For both industries. For home-based businesses and for trucking. For trucking companies, transportation companies. Um, a lot of people didn't know that. I didn't know that. You know. And then a lot of people that's filing taxes, that preparers, they're not. Some people, and especially like these companies, these cookie cutter companies, nobody's really worried about that. They just push it through a system, as I said before, and it's like whatever comes out comes out, you know. So they really like don't try to put that much time into actually seeing and going through the deductions, because it does take longer, but nevertheless, so what, um, I actually, man, I was looking at something today, and I just wanted to kind of go, and I was just looking at it, and I just wanted to see because I heard something about Abe Lincoln, right? And a lot of people don't really know, a lot of times, especially in business, I'm a business owner. I own three companies: Austin Murray Logistics, Austin Murray Capital, and Prodigy Apparel. You know, now with me, neither one of them are going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? They might be sitting, they at bay right now, but my companies are still there. Sometimes you have to know how to readjust. I'm not one that has good credit. So everything that I did out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? From my jobs. I used my job money. And I used to say even with Prodigy, Prodigy started with a $12 an hour job. Now most people would have maybe use some money and want to start getting some, and order some shirts first and start making some money, and then they try to go form the business. Me, I'm a structural person. So what I did is I formed the company first. I don't really care about the money, the t-shirts, it's because it's not a t-shirt company. It's this clothing brand, you know. But I like structure. The value is in the structure, not the product. That's one thing we always have to remember. Just like in trucking, sometimes people get it confused, but your authority is the value, holds the value, not the truck. Some people go get the truck first. I went and got the authority first. Now under authority, you can have 50 trucks. If you have a truck, then you just have a truck. You can make some money. It just depends on mindset. Um, but each one of them has a purpose. So and uh, and they will be fulfilled. Now, I was going through, and I was looking at Abe Lincoln, man, and some people just, sometimes people get confused about business and like, and just the successes and thinking that just because you own a business, it's automatically you rich, you're going to win, People don't know what it takes to actually like, to succeed in business, and that's the reason why it's only a few. That is why there is more employees than there are employers. Because it's only actually only a few people that actually have the guts, the will, you know, the power, what I'm saying, to actually see it all the way through. Now, when you look at Abe Lincoln, for instance, just for instance, because everybody knows his name, and we talk about, him being a president and, and slavery and this and that, when people really don't understand, it really wasn't, even with that though, it really wasn't the fact that he really wanted to end slavery. It was a power move. What he said was, well, he told the Union, well, if they didn't do what he wanted them to do, then therefore he would abolish slavery. They didn't do it, so therefore that's what he did. And the reason why it didn't matter to him is because, in the East, they were already industrialized, so therefore they didn't need manual labor. So it didn't matter if there were slaves or not. You know what I'm saying? He might have had a few, whatever the case, and that's here nor there. But it wasn't a necessity, to amass his wealth. In the South, which is why the South is so strict the way it is, because they had to mentally, control, the people, because the humans are the ones that actually, was the vehicle to amass their wealth. But anyway, so right here, man, I'm looking at this thing, and it says 1816, his family was forced out of their home, had to work to support them. Abe Lincoln was born into poverty, excuse me. 1818, his mother died. 1831, and he was also a small business owner. 1831, failed in business. 1832, ran for state legislator, lost. 1832, also lost his job. Wanted to go to law school, but couldn't get in. 1833, he borrowed some money from a friend to begin a business, and by the end of the year, he was bankrupt. He spent the next 17 years of his life paying off his debt. 1834, ran for state legislator, again, won. 1835, was engaged to be married. Sweetheart died, and his heart was broken. 1836, had a total nervous breakdown and was in bed for 6 months. 1838, sought to become Speaker of the state legislature, defeated. 1840, sought to become elector, defeated. 1843, ran for Congress, lost. And it goes, it's passing time. 1846, ran for Congress again. This time he won, went to Washington and did a good job. 1848, ran for re-election to Congress, lost. 1849, sought the job of land officer in his home state, rejected. 1854, ran for Senate of the United States, lost. 1856, sought the vice presidential nomination at his party's national convention, got less than 100 votes. 1858, ran for U.S. Senate again he lost. 1860, elected President of the United States. 1860. So going all the way back till 1831 when he first failed in business, that was almost 30 years of this man pushing. You know what I'm saying? Ups and downs, smiles and frowns. And all we remember him as being the president. So that goes to show, man, people don't even really understand and, and don't even know what people go through on their journey to become great. You know what I'm saying? And so I just say that to say, those of you that's out there, man, pushing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's going to be ups and downs, bro. It's going to be, it's going to be tough, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, the only ones that actually win is the ones that's built for it. That's why you say, one only deserves what one puts in the effort to attain. You know what I'm saying? So when people say they deserve it, I deserve it, do you put in the effort to attain it? Because if you don't do that, then you don't deserve it. So with that, man, oh, and one more thing, I just kind of wanted to show you. I just wanted to show y'all, this was my deductions from last year. This is what I do. I can be real analytical. And I did this last year, right? And this is going down my list. And that's just everything, all my expenses. I added up all my fuel business for my business accounts. I had a personal account I had gas in. I put some fuel in. And that's just it. But, we see 2 pages, but just imagine, how much work it took, how much time it took for me to actually go through that. So I just say that to say, it's a lot that we leave on the table sometimes, man. And so, seeing that I am a business owner, man, I know how important it is, bro, for us to get back as much as we can. It no matter if you're a man, woman, whatever background, you know what I'm saying? I root for the ones, man, that, that come from, that come from the back. You know what I'm saying? So, even though we was always on top, you get what I'm saying, though. And one more thing, sometimes people always want to try to find a way to try to, stick us to our past. But really what they're looking at is our physical, you know what I'm saying? Because honestly, like as today, my mind is a lot more in sync with the top, meaning where I'm going, than my physical appearance is to where I came from. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you know that inside you, bro, don't give up, man. Stay at it, stay down. In a minute.